YouTube world. I'm your host, Paul Italia. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And if you're feeling this content, smash that thumbs up button. It is my pleasure to introduce today's guest. He's also a good friend of mine. His name is Pradeep Singh, but more of you guys will know him as the Arm Wrestling News Guy. Welcome, Pradeep. How are you tonight, brother?
I'm fine, Paul, and thank you very much for inviting. Like, it is a pleasure for me to be invited by you because whenever I see someone managing time as well as you do, I'm immediately a fan because I know you are running a lot of things and a couple of YouTube channels as well. For me, one YouTube channel is more than enough. That's why I have that kind of respect for you. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you for saying that, Pradeep. I really appreciate that, bro. So I want to first start off with just the basic stats. I want to get your age, your height, and your weight.
So there is a weird thing about my age. You can say I'm 27 or you can say I'm 28, whatever. Like the official age is like 27, but I'm really 28. Just turned 28 about 4 or 5 days ago, 2nd of August. And
happy birthday, bro.
Height is, thank you very much. Height is 179. I'm not sure if you asked me for my height or not, but I'm telling you anyways. 179, so about 5'10" and a half, and weight is a fat 87 kg guy. Arm Wrestling News.
And what is that pound wise?
That would be little over 190 pounds, maybe 193, 194.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a pretty big guy, dude. You can't really tell by the video and all, but you got a pretty big size on you. So, gotta first start off, man, and I'm really interested in this interview, bro, because, we see you like every day, you're giving us the news and all, but we really don't get to know you. We don't get to know all the little details about you, so I kind of excited to hear about all this. So, how did arm wrestling find you?
So, how did arm wrestling find you, or should I say, how did I find arm wrestling? I think it was way back in school, maybe when I was 10 years old. Like, I never trained for it or anything, and I'll tell you when I first got to know that it is an actual sport. And during that time, I was always the kid who's inviting everyone to arm wrestle on the desks, and I never lost. I remember a few times losing on the right arm, but on the left arm, in my school, in my I didn't really go to college except for a few months in my college when I started working when I was 19 years old. So till that time, I haven't really lost to anyone. This is what I thought, because I was beating everyone when I was going to gyms. There was good jack dudes and I was beating them. So I kind of already knew that when I'm going to go to my first tournament, I'm going to lose. But this was my beginning. Like, I just loved to arm wrestle. Didn't knew much about it, but whenever I go to my relatives, like, I was the one who was bugging everyone with this arm wrestling thing, and they immediately knew when Pradeep is coming, and now we're gonna have to arm wrestle him. So that was my story. I always loved to arm wrestle. Had never seen an arm wrestling table before. So about 2015 or 16, I think it was, and it was a video. I found a video on internet edited by Philip Ritz. I'm not sure if you know him or not. His name is Philip. He once challenged Ryan Bowen as well for a super match. So he runs a YouTube channel. He does compilation, and at that time I found a Travis Bagent highlight video from not Arm Wars. For Game of Arms, from Game of Arms, and that was like, I immediately, like, I wanted to be like that guy, like not at that level, but at least in my community, wherever I can afford to be that guy based off my strength levels. And like, Travis was the biggest motivation for me to start arm wrestling, to actually start arm wrestling, to know it as a sport. So Travis Bagent and Philip Ritz, just because he put out that video. So that was my motivation, how I started. And it was about 2016, I think. Since then I started watching arm wrestling almost regularly.
Okay, so you're saying you practically arm wrestled your whole life. You did during school and all, and you were never beaten then. But 2016 is when we kind of got serious. We found a table, and you really started, like, following all the YouTube and all that.
Yeah, everything is correct except for the part where you said I found a table. I did not see the table ever until I went to my first tournament, and it was the Nationals. I saw the arm wrestling table first time at the Nationals 2019 it was.
And then now, what happened at your first event? How did you do?
I did okay. There were five matches. I lost two of them and won three of them. So two of them were like that, and two of them were like that, and one was a war. Like for a beginner like me, first time on the table, to have a 30-second match and come on top of it, that was really exciting for me. So it was okay. I won three matches and lost two. Competed left-handed only.
So would you say that kind of changed everything, that first tournament? Did that now get you that you went and found a team and you started practicing, so to say, and all?
That didn't start actually until late part of 2020, I would say, when I created a YouTube channel in about, I think it was March or February 2020. So that started, and still I'm not really regular. Although I posted a training video yesterday, but and you also posted a training video yesterday. I'm yet to watch it, brother. So that training part, it's still really like I like to be training, but maybe I'm not so much excited even now for it. Like that thing is starting for me now. The training part, I've been taking it seriously for maybe less than a month, I would say. I've dabbled here and there, like in the training stuff, but not much interested in it. Whenever I think I try to convince myself for arm wrestling training, my mind immediately goes to the videos that I need to make, and I tell myself, what would really happen if you train on the table for a couple of hours? You're providing something in the arm wrestling community in the form of news, and if that is left behind because of your training, that wouldn't be a good thing in my mind.
Okay. Now, growing up and all, were you the athletic type? Did you play sports in high school?
I would say, yeah, little bit over average. I always used to say I was kind of the kid that would beat 90% of the kids at 90% of the stuff. Like if you want to compete with me in education, you have to be that 91% guy to beat me, or top 10 out of 100. If you want to beat me in a 100-meter sprint, I was running around 12 seconds 100 meters, so you have to be in that top 10% guy. If you want to beat me in swimming, you have to be in that top 10 guy. Like I was long jumping. I like to long jump a little bit over 6 meters. Nothing very much athletic, but something that you wouldn't expect from just an average guy. So I was that kind of guy that if you are in that top 10 percentage in any part of the field, in anything, I was like kind of a all-rounder, like not an expert in anything, but good at almost everything.
So that leads me to my next question. What about in arm wrestling? Do you beat 90% of the people out there?
Yeah, I would say my arm wrestling level, I've been always been very clear about it. Like if you have actually trained on the table, if you are a good arm wrestler, you would beat me for sure. But if you have not trained, if you are a regular gym goer, and you have good amount of muscle, but you actually have not trained for arm wrestling, then there is a very good chance that I might beat you. So this is my level where I am at.
Oh, wow. Okay. We might have to have a match one of these days, brother.
Bottom 8, Paul. April 2022. I'm coming for you.
Wow. Okay. All right. It's on. So, I got to ask you, I know you said, Philip Briggs and Travis Bajan, but I wanted to find out, who were your favorite three arm wrestlers growing up?
For sure. Travis Bajan, nobody was even close. I wanted Travis Bajan to destroy Michael Todd in all of the matches when I first got to know about that arm wrestling. I just love that character. Some people, and from the recent things that have happened in the arm wrestling, some people may think that I do not like vocal guys very much. I like that respectful kind of behavior, but I love everyone who takes it to the boundaries while staying within the rules, like Travis always did. Travis was never abusive. He was never really abusive to his opponents, but his trash talking game was like on next level. So that really, like a big what many arm wrestling people, like many people in the arm wrestling community, like to say these days, a word of fanboy. They sometimes now try to use this word as to disrespect someone, but I don't think it being as a wrong word. So I was a true Travis Bajan fanboy till about maybe 2018 when he stopped competing. And the second favorite arm wrestler, of course, after that it switched over to Devon Larrett, and Devon stayed there for a while. Then now it is Ermes Gasparini for me.
Okay. And what do you like so much about Devon? Is it that he's like our ambassador of our sport.
Humble guy. That first word. This word is not really associated with Devon enough as it should be associated. Like when nobody is nobody, like anyone literally could message Devon. Maybe he's so busy right now, but it was with me. Like I would message Devon, and he would just reply to me. That is a big thing considering how big of a character Devon is. And then he invited me on my channel, and I've talked with Devon a lot. He has no business replying to me, but he for some reason always replies. And when he visited India, unfortunately I was not able to meet him. It was in November 2018, I think. And then I got to know stories how humble that person is, and he still is really humble. Whenever you must know about it. Like one of the most genuine guys. I'm not saying the other guys, top guys like Michael or anyone else, they're not humble. They are humble in their own way. But Devon is definitely a special human being when it comes to humbleness.
I totally agree with that statement. The other one is Ermes Gasparini. What do you like so much about Ermes?
First of all, the energy. If you pin someone on the table and you're not shouting, I do not like it. If you're not smashing the table, I do not like it. So first of all, the energy. No matter the opponent that Hermes Gasparini is beating, whether it is easy or difficult or whatever the situation is, the tournament is small or big, it is Lottie or East versus West, you know he's going to scream in your face whenever he beats you. This is why I said earlier, if it is within the rules, I like as much chaos as you can present to the table, but you have to stay in the rules. I'm a big follower in arm wrestling rules. Like I really believe in them. And other than that, we got to see the funny side of Hermes Gasparini in 2021, so that kind of escalated it even more. Like if you're aggressive on the table and funny off the table, that is a very rare combination, and that made me his fan.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, man. I got to hang out with Ermes in Istanbul, Turkey, and the whole week, bro. It was just, he had us laughing the whole time. Him and Jerry just going back and forth with each other. And the games just never stopped. It was just really a lot of fun to hang around Ermes. So I wanted to get into how did you get into YouTube? What gave you this idea, and how did it actually happen, and how long ago?
So I think it was in 2019 when I started looking into it. Man, I'm doing a government job, but maybe I should try to set up a business of my own, something like that. I was always thinking. My mind is like, it is never empty. Like there is constantly, even now, something going on. My mind does not rest even when I'm asleep. Even when I'm asleep, maybe I'm making YouTube videos now, maybe I'm arm wrestling someone, I'm beating someone, losing to someone. It is always happening, so it never takes a break. So at that time I was thinking of ideas, and whenever you try to think of an idea, your mind immediately goes to what is not being done. And in 2020, early part of 2020, I thought like, so the first video started like, I invited my friends, like I bought this new table. So it was about maybe 32 months ago. I bought this new table. Let's have an arm wrestling match. Let's have a practice. So I invited a couple of my friends, and one of them, his elbow was jumping all over the place. So I just thought, like, man, that was really funny. Maybe I can make a funny compilation out of that. Elbows flying. So I did just that, and I was about to send it to him, and I thought, why don't I create a YouTube channel to upload it? So it doesn't have to be a really big thing for you to start. And the next few videos were like me arm wrestling and beating a bunch of guys in a football field. Football as in soccer, as you guys call it. So after that, I was just about to go in my mess to have some food, and the idea just came. I was talking with one of my buddies that, man, there is a news channel in cricket, there is a news channel in football, there are news channels in wrestling, in WWE, UFC news channels, but there is no news channel in arm wrestling, and I think I should create one. And of course that guy said, no, nobody's going to watch what you have to say. Why would they listen to you? And I'm like, why wouldn't they? Because I'm giving them something. Of course arm wrestling is going to grow in the future. It was a no-brainer even 2.5 years ago. So then I thought that maybe I should try. The first couple of videos I did in my own language. Not many people know about that. I did in Hindi. And then I tried English. So Hindi was not getting much response, because in arm wrestling, like what arm wrestling was in maybe in North America or other countries, in terms of popularity wise, in terms of social media, I'm talking about what it was few years ago. Arm wrestling is getting there now in India. So I've started a Hindi channel as well. So I'm running 2 YouTube channels now. So there was a void. Nobody was giving news, and now literally there are many channels that are just giving the news. But out of respect of my channel, or out of fear that they will be called out for copying the name, they just cannot name their channel news. But there are many channels that are just delivering arm wrestling news right now. So I'm happy to have some competition and have the given the idea to start a new niche in arm wrestling.
Yeah, you definitely started a wave with that, and I gotta say, yeah, when you first started that arm wrestling news, bro, I was amazed. I was like, this is genius, man. This guy's got something right here, and it's just with your accent and everything, and you sound official, bro. You just you got the character for it. So instantly, I definitely was always watching, and when I got into the YouTube. I gotta admit, I would always go over by your channel, and I'd be taking some tips from things that you were doing. And it was to my surprise when we did our interview on your channel last week, and you kind of said the same thing to me, and I was like, oh wow, we were doing the same thing back and forth, learning from each other as we go and all. So yeah, that was definitely pretty cool. But yeah, that arm wrestling news, man, you guys haven't already. I mean, you'd have to be living under a rock if you don't know about Pradeep and arm wrestling news. But if you haven't, go check it out. Arm Wrestling News. Get over there, click the subscribe button, and I mean, this boy puts in the work, man. He anything happens in arm wrestling, he is reporting about it instantly. So I know they take so much work to do, man. Before I was into YouTube, I really didn't understand how much work and time it gets in, and just listening to all the different interviews. And I remember you were telling me that all the interviews you listen to them 2x, sometimes even 3x, just because you got so much content to go through, and you got to report back on all those news and all.
Yeah, it is a thing that I need to stop doing, not the 2x 3x thing, but to watch everything. Like I have this thing in my mind that if I've not watched everything, I do not upload a news video. So I have a news ready with me that needs to be uploaded as soon as possible. But since there are 10 different videos, and out of them 3 and 4 are 1 hour podcast, before I watch all of them, my mind just tells me no, maybe you're missing on something. Maybe in those 10 videos there is something related to this one part of news. So I keep on watching those videos, and sometimes the news gets delayed. Maybe I need to stop it. Like Derek Smith is doing a 90-minute live stream. There is a good possibility that I'm not going to find some newsworthy material in that. So I need to skip on some live streams or some interviews before, and maybe I should watch them, not just skip them, but I should watch them after I've uploaded. Then the frequency of the upload, the speed of upload will be increased. And one more thing, whenever whenever you are interviewing many guys in the beginning, I was like with my friends, and Paul Italia was taking notes, and I thought I just said those things in few videos ago, almost all of those. Man, I was like, Paul Italia is taking notes from Arm Wrestling News while he's preparing for those interviews. And I felt really good about myself. I got to know that it is not just the arm wrestling community, arm wrestling fans. It is other people who are involved in arm wrestling in other ways as yourself. They are also getting benefited from my channel. So that is what made me proud as well about myself.
How does the process go now? How do you keep up with everything? Like, do you have like a set couple of people that you follow, and that's where you get generally of the info? Like, how do you filter through everything?
So I follow almost every YouTube channel that I've came across on YouTube. If I see an arm wrestling channel, I subscribe to it. But if I see that guy just posting compilation videos, just stealing videos from others, and not really anything newsworthy, then I just unsubscribe from that channel. But if you are doing something of your own, if the video has your audio or your video, your face, then I'm going to subscribe to your channel for sure. And I watch all of the videos. I cannot watch the live streams, unfortunately. I don't watch live streams, any of the live streams, because of that same 2x speed. If it happens with Engin many times, and I get really frustrated. Engin is going live, so I think that while Engin is going live, maybe I should watch another 90-minute podcast that is left unattended. I need to watch it. So by the time I finish it in 2.5x speed or 2x speed, whatever. So now I'm ready for the Engin podcast. I'll switch to 2x speed, and by the time Engin finishes the podcast, I'll catch up with him. And who knows? What a surprise! Engin by that time has already deleted his live stream. Then I message Engin, can you send me the link? I don't care. I'm not going to share it anywhere. I want to watch it. Like maybe something of importance for me. So this is how it goes. I usually in the beginning, for the first couple of 100 videos, I would say, I used to write the script for everything, and that is when the channel got recognized. Everyone was saying this Indian guy, like he makes great videos. Why? Because a lot of thought process was going into, like, the entire video. I did voiceovers only, no video stuff. So the first time I kind of revealed my face on YouTube, maybe it was the Devon and Ermes interview, or maybe I did a few videos before that, just a couple of videos before that. So I used to write script, and when you're writing a script, you can think more than when what you can think right now compared to this. So that is why the quality of videos, I would say, even now, maybe my knowledge has increased, of course, but the quality of videos with whatever limited knowledge I had back then was more than what it is now. And on top of that, I used to increase the speed slightly, so that information comes at a faster speed. And when information comes at faster speed, it looks good. So I used to increase the speed by 4% or 3%, and I'm already having a script, so there are no empty spaces in the video, like constant news, zero breaks. Even if there was a 0.5 second break, I would cut it out, I would edit it out in the video. So this is how the voiceover journey was going, and those videos, I can myself say that those videos were great because of the entire script written. Now the knowledge has increased, and the time available for me to upload those videos has decreased. Now I just write like 4 or 5 points and in front of me, and I just record a video.
Now, how many hours a day do you put into putting the arm wrestling news together? I mean, listening to all the other interviews, and then, doing your own edits and all your own filming. Like, how long do you put in every day?
I would say at least as many hours as they are available in the day. So if I have 10 hours available in a day, maybe more than 10, because remember, I'm watching everything at 2x speed. So that content is worth 15-20 hours that I may be watching in 10 hours. So I would say more hours than there are actually available in a day. I'm always like, I have my earphones on all the time, no matter what I'm doing, brushing my teeth, waking up, going to the toilet. No matter what I'm doing, I'm always listening to arm wrestling. Absolutely always.
Now, you said you had a government job. What do you do for a living? You don't want to talk about that?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
He's like in the CIA or something crazy like
that. Let's not talk about it.
All right. Or he's like an assassin, a secret assassin with the Indian Army. I got you, brother. So now, are you able to listen to all the content as you're working at your government job?
Sometimes not. So this is the problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you must have like a real hard time like balancing everything. I mean, it's almost like you have 2 full-time jobs that,
Yeah.
that you're doing.
Two full-time jobs, and I'm already making a little bit more than my job from YouTube. So this is a good thing, but I'm always in a hurry. Whenever I'm back from job, I message my wife to set up the ring lights and to set up the laptop, camera, microphone, everything. So she got everything ready, and as soon luckily I'm at my home. I'm off work right now for a month or so. So there is a air conditioner here, so I can just sit and record my videos. But where I'm working, there is no air conditioner, and whenever in the summers, it gets real messy, man. I cannot turn on the fan because there will be a audio problem. So I have to like keep a towel with me just constantly. If the video is 10 minutes long, wipe off the sweat and record videos. So that was a big problem. There was a time in the beginning when I was living in a I wouldn't name the place, but we were like 5, 6, 8 guys living in a room. So you of course cannot record a video in such environment. So I had to go to 3, 4 kilometers every day just to record the audio, and then I came back and then I edited. So I did like 100 videos like that. I used to travel, record the audio, came back, and then uploaded it.
Wow. So when you first got into this YouTube and you started your arm wrestling news, did you ever picture it getting this big and where you're at today?
Maybe I thought maybe in 4 or 5 years, like the I knew that the arm wrestlers would know. If there was any other channel like me, then I thought the arm wrestlers wouldn't know. So it would not be a truth if I say that I never thought that it is going to happen. But it happened within the first year. That is something that I could have never expected. Maybe I thought it is going to happen in 3, 4 years.
And what was the big change, like the big going from just a beginning YouTuber where it's kind of hard to get the views and all? Was it somebody that you had on? Was it like what made it just like skyrocket? Because it seems like that your channel consistently grew pretty fast.
Yeah. So I would say there are no such viral moments. There was one moment I got lucky with it. At that time, I didn't really know much about of that copyright stuff. So I just try to make a compilation videos, and I now tell everyone else to not make those videos. I made a Devon versus Michael Todd rivalry video, and that is still the most popular video on my channel. So that was a single video that got my channel monetized and everything. That video itself is not monetized. There is a music copyright claim in that, but it got my channel monetized. It gave me the $4,000 and 1,000 subscribers. So I was very lucky. It was my fourth video, so the channel got monetized in like 6 months. And Paul, to be honest, I never really experienced that stuff that you're saying, that you're a beginning YouTuber. Maybe my expectations were low from the channel, but I always got more views on my channel than what I expected. Even in the beginning, I was getting more views than my subscribers, at least near that count. So the channel has been blessed. Then the second boom was when Devon invited on me on my channel. So I was at around 5,000 subscribers then, and it gave me like 600 subscribers in 2, 3 days. So that was the second boom. But I would say it has been a constant progression. There was no like overnight thing, success thing, where the channel got doubled within a few days, or in just one day. So there was nothing like that. It has been a slow progress since the beginning, and luckily I have not, maybe people like to listen to what I'm saying, but I've never felt that problem that the beginning YouTubers face when their videos are not getting views. My videos got views like right from the beginning.
Yeah, I got to say, dude, I think it's you got that accent and you got that you just seem like it fit you, man. You have that character, and you got that reporter in you, and from day one, like I said, bro, it was right away. I was like, yo, this is the man. He is my arm wrestling news. I definitely felt that. If you remember correctly, bro, any kind of like any event I had going on, or I was going to be hanging out with some of the leads, I would always call you up and kind of give you the inside scoop and all. So yeah, I definitely recognized you as going to be the arm wrestling news guy for sure.
And that accent part that Paul you were mentioning, there was many comments about accent, and I was also kind of doubtful whether this Indian accent would be suitable for news or not. I was doubtful whether people are going to kind of like it or not, and accept won't be the right word, like it or not. So in the beginning, it was that in my mind a little bit, I was constantly getting comments about the accent, like, why are you even uploading videos? You shouldn't be uploading videos. Nobody cares about you, Indian guy. I got a lot of comments. Those comments have totally vanished now. Like, I don't literally do not see any single comment, maybe in last 100 150 videos like that. So it was a thing in my mind, but then I thought that it has helped me. If I had just a regular American or British accent, it wouldn't be something new for yes, the channel would be new, but it wouldn't be something new, like, who is this guy? If I had not, if I was not having this accent, then there wouldn't be this shock effect in the arm wrestling community. So overall, in the long term, that accent for sure helped me.
100%, bro. Definitely. I definitely agree with that. So I want to ask you, what is some tips you could give to, like, up and coming YouTubers, guys like me that are trying to, build their channel and all? I know it's a lot of, you learn as you go. So kind of looking for some tips from you.
One tip that I myself have kind of stopped following right now, I did it back in the day when the channel was growing, is that follow the trend. We as YouTubers, like I also sometimes make claims, not claims, make comments on the performance enhancing pancakes. We have a real good fun back and forth, and I was like, man, you're constantly milking that Devon content. Like if you go to his channel, like out of those 30 videos, 28 are about Devon, and all of them are getting views. But then I started thinking of it as a businessman point of view. So if we see it from his eyes, what is a businessman going to produce? The content that the product that he likes, or the product that the audience demands? He's for sure going to produce the content that the audience demands. If it is just one flavor, one product, and that is the only one that is getting sold the most, he's going to produce more and more of that. So why shouldn't YouTubers follow that? Like, it feels cringy to upload Devon videos back like again and again, but if it is what the audience wants, and if you're a beginning YouTuber, then do it. Don't be worried to do that. It is on the audience. Why are they giving it 20,000 views and then 20 of them, like me, are saying, why are you uploading Devon content again and again? So follow the trend. The biggest thing is follow the trend. This is what every big YouTubers also say. Find the trending videos. Of course, there are no trending videos on YouTube in arm wrestling right now, but try to find what are the topics, hot topics that everybody is talking about. Make videos on them. Of course, think about making videos first. Whenever the good thoughts in your mind that you think, yeah, I made a good connection, something like this happened a year ago, and people are going to enjoy this point because they may have missed it, 90% of them at least. So these thoughts keep coming in your mind. Whenever you think about them, just note them down on your phone. Maybe they're not going to come back to you. So whenever you think about something interesting, just note it down. Like the other day, I was thinking about Jerry versus Ermes Gasparini match, and I was like, there are different types of arm strengths. Where can Hermes be superior than Jerry? There is arm strength like that in a hook. There is arm strength like that, Jerry. There is arm strength like that in a top roll position. And in that top roll position, this is the type of arm strength that Hermes Gasparini has more than Gennady Quiquinian. So maybe that could be his opportunity. So whenever things like that come to your mind, just note them down, or remember them. I don't really need to note them down right now, but sometimes I still do. You should keep a diary or a phone. You should write them in your phone, whatever suits you. So follow the trending topics, note down the important and interesting things that come to your mind. Do not copy others. If they're doing great work, for sure do it. But if they did a separate idea that required maybe only one video, do not make that video one more time. So this is something like basic things that I would advise. And there is always something new. The most important thing I forgot, try to find something which I did that nobody is doing in the arm wrestling community. And the sport is even now so small that it won't be difficult for you to find something that is not being currently done in the sport of arm wrestling. So if you can find that, then nobody is going to stop you.
And what is what are your favorite 3 YouTube channels in arm wrestling world?
So just as a viewer, or maybe as a YouTuber, because then it would be different.
As a viewer.
As a viewer, I would say Larry Wheels has stopped uploading arm wrestling content. That channel was really great, like one of the most professional YouTube channels, and so I would not include that right now. Monster Michael Todd has a good professional level channel. Like he takes his stuff seriously. Engin's channel, I would say, for me as a YouTuber, it is one of my favorites because there is a lot of information available in that. But would I include it or not? Armbets TV was a really great channel. Igor Mezurenko's channel, he really uploaded very good professional videos, but he's not uploading now, so I cannot include. Man, all the channels that I like the most, they're not doing that much right now. So Michael Todd would be one, and other channels. Voice of Arm Wrestling, Coach Ray has a great channel. I liked his content more because he had that niche about training and stuff. What you should do at tournaments, how to win at arm wrestling. Great channel for beginners. Ryan Bowen's channel is also very professional. So whenever I think about great channels, I always like to take a look at how seriously they themselves are taking their channels. It may be great information, but if they are not taking it seriously themselves, then I would for sure not like Devon channel. Devon has one of the biggest channels, but is he taking his channel as seriously as Michael Todd is taking it, or as Ryan Bowen is taking it, or as Coach Ray is taking it? So that is why I include those channels in my favorites list.
Now, is there anybody that you follow to get tips? Other YouTubers that aren't in arm wrestling?
So we had this arm wrestling group, Content Gangsters it was named, and I was in that group. Derek Smith, Chan Shaw, Sweden Arm Wrestling Television, Aussie arm wrestler Ryan Bowen. So we kind of used to discuss the arm wrestling algorithm, what we should upload, how to get more views. So we had that group. So that would be the only place where I tried, like, I did not try to intentionally seek some information, not many times, but whenever you came across something that is valuable, you always take it. So it was like that for me.
So, are you guys still in that group? Do you guys have that?
Yes, yeah, still in that
Oh,
group.
I gotta get put in that, man. I gotta get in the little circle over here.
I'll contact your buddy Chan Shaw. He'll take you into that group.
Me and Chance are cool now, man. We got to hang out in Istanbul, Turkey. We put everything in the past. So yeah, no, we're officially good, man. Definitely, I was congratulating him. I was real proud of him at that big win against Zurab, which, I think he shocked a lot of people, and he showed people he deserves to be up on that stage. What was your thoughts on that win?
My thoughts on that one was everything was okay. I did not want it to be okay. I liked that friendly banter between these guys, and everything was okay. Maybe I think it is in my head, maybe because of one thing mainly, that both of them won their matches. Had one guy lost his super match, the other guy would be for sure trolling him. For sure trolling. both both of them won that match, so it was good for them. So now everything is okay. Good luck in the future. So man, Jerry impressed me. Jerry impressed me. Chan Shaw, I also predicted Chan Shaw to lose 3 pins to 2, but I clearly said that Chan Shaw is by far going to be the stronger guy in this match. I saw it coming like from a mile away. Chance is going to be much stronger than Zurab, but I thought he's going to gas out in that match. Maybe Zurab is going to put the brakes on near the pads. And Gennady is a beast, man. Jerry, sorry, my bad. Jerry is a beast. Whenever Jerry goes against someone, I feel, whenever I'm watching the match, I feel like my arm breaking. Like, I cannot imagine somebody putting me in this position where I have everything and I cannot, like, just imagine to be in that situation scares me. Like, you have everything, but you cannot do anything. That is a scary situation. When Jerry was against Matt Mask, Jerry was against Ryan SP. I know those guys were arm wrestling him, but I was getting scared in my chair, man. I don't know. That dude is really scary, man. His style, big fan, man, big fan. So I did an arm wrestling practice a few days ago, and I was also getting into this position. My hand was getting taken because I haven't really trained, and I went into this. I never tried it. But that motivation from Jerry, I saw him a few days ago. Let me try it. And that thing worked, man. That thing worked. I got behind my shoulder. I had my hand taken, and I never thought I could do it. But it is an option. And people were commenting, Pradeep is learning from the greatest. He's learning from Jerry. So,
I gotta let Jerry know that one, man. Hell yeah.
Jerry, man. Tell Jerry that he scares me whenever he arm wrestles. And I'm not on that table still. I'm getting scared to be put in that situation, man.
And believe me, anybody that's arm wrestled Jerry says the same thing. That is one guy that is not fun to arm wrestle. And I'm talking guys like Travis Bajan, John Brezink. They all say it hurts to deal with this man, bro. It's 330 pounds coming crashing in on you, bro. It's next level. It's like a Mack truck hitting you. So that leads me to this, man. Were you surprised at all at Jerry winning against Gennady?
Yes, I would say so. Because unlike many other people, I did say in my video that the chance that Gennady has to beat Jerry is inside. If he grabs him a little bit lower, negates his press, then he's going to beat it. I also said maybe I just said maybe Gennady has a chance to go over the top of Jerry's hand and still beat him. But that was very doubtful for me. In one round, he was able to hook, but that is the thing with Jerry. He has a backup plan for everything. Gennady, if you remember that one round, without the straps, Gennady was able to hook Jerry. He grabbed him low, he hooked him, negated his press, and even in from this position, Jerry somehow gave his wrist, flopped it, and just he tried. He was pushing him backwards. It was there were no elbow fouls, but that constant back pressure, that constant pushing pressure, Gennady couldn't do go everywhere. This is why Travis always says that the problem with arm wrestling Jerry is that if you plant your elbow really hard on the table so that you won't elbow foul, then you can never have enough side pressure to beat him. If you go for the side pressure pin, then he's applying so much back pressure towards you that your elbow is going to go flying off the back of the pad. So this is one thing you can never do both against Jerry. So Gennady was in that situation. He hooked Jerry, but Jerry flopped his wrist and started pushing. And whenever he tried to go sideways, his elbow would go back. Whenever he would plant his elbow, Jerry would take him to the losing side. So this is even the hook was not working for him. So maybe that hook route is not available for many people. Devon did that once in WL. Denis Siplenkov, guys at that level, I think are needed to just hook Jerry and beat him. Really difficult thing to do as well.
The one thing I got to say that a lot of people don't know is when Jerry's at his practice every week, he never uses the press at all because the only people that he can actually apply that on is other elite arm wrestlers because he'll break their arms right away. And, you know, he plays more just catching everybody and bringing them to the pad. But what they don't see is that he's hooking all the time. You know, so that's why he kept trying to bait Gennady, and he was like, we're going to go inside, we're going to go inside. And anytime he would say it, everybody's like, oh, you're crazy, don't even try it. And we're all thinking ahead, well, that's really what he practices all the time. So, I mean, you know, that is the one thing people don't expect is, you know, they always think he's got that one move. His hook is pretty good. It's pretty up there. So we obviously seen that.
I think that the reason for that can be a speed thing as well, because people don't really train speed when they are on the arm wrestling table, speed and reaction times. So Jerry cannot go fast against those guys that he's training with, and press is a fast thing. It is a speed thing for Jerry. Jerry cannot be in a high level super match like I'm going to ease into that press. No, he's going at as fast as he can, and he cannot do that in training sessions. There is no slow press going on. You have to be quick with it.
So let me give you an example. This was right when he first got back into training. We went over to Dallas, Texas, and they had like 40, 50 guys there to come arm wrestle with him. And, you know, he was, you know, just playing whatever. It was the first time I seen him in person arm wrestling. So it was a treat for me. But I was waiting to see the press, and, you know, I didn't see it. We were in there for like, you know, half an hour or so. But there's one big dude. I can't remember his name. I think he's about 6'7", 6'8". You know, he was the biggest dude there, and he got on with Jerry, and Jerry was still kind of warming up. He wasn't, you know, all like going hard or whatever. And this guy just boom went really hard on Jerry, and I think he might have got the pin or he got real close, and he kind of like walked away with his chest down and kind of was looking a little cocky and all. Well, you know, it got Jerry a little like, whoa, hey, come back over here, guy. And you know, he got him on the table again, and you know, all of a sudden I start seeing Jerry start doing this like angle thing, and he's looking at his hand, and that was the first time I seen him doing that. I didn't see him all the other times before that doing that, so I'm like, what is he doing right now? All of a sudden they go, boom, and he just goes right into that press and pinned the dude instantly. And this guy just grabbed his arm and just like walked away. You could see the guy was hurt, and he didn't want to say anything to anybody, but I was watching him the rest of the practice. He did not get back on that table. So that dude felt the power of Jerry. And I mean, this guy was a big guy, you know, but you know, I seen that day is when I realized how dangerous that move was. And I was like, all the things that I heard about from John Brezink talking about, and he's like, every time you pull with him, I'd hurt my shoulder. And Travis, the same thing, you know, he's like, it's not fun to pull that guy, man. It hurts. So, you know, Jerry's move is just deadly weapon. But what are you expecting now with him against Ermes? Do you think he's going to be able to get the win that day? Who are you leaning to on this?
I'm where one day I'm going for Jerry, and the other day when I think more of it, I'm going towards Hermes. I think that match is going to be even more closer than the Gennady super match, because that Gennady was going for that top roll. That hook was not working for Gennady. If that hook was working for Gennady, then he would have been for sure a way more difficult opponent for Jerry than Hermes Gasparini. But he tried the top roll, and we have to know that in that top roll position, Hermes is stronger than Gennady. So maybe this is why that can be an even more difficult match for Jerry, and I'm also seeing that match go maybe 3-2 either way, because Hermes, you have to look at the confidence in that man. He's saying that even on Engin's interview a couple of days ago, he was saying, like, he was not answering, he was maybe asking a question to himself and Engin. He was like, I cannot imagine. For me, it is impossible when I'm like this, taken everything and me losing to a press. Well, it has never happened to me. Like, it has never happened. Hermes has not been pinned when he has taken. I remember that one match outside of straps. It was against Rustam Babayev, and Rustam took Hermes to very near to the pad, and as soon as Hermes gained hand control, it was like immediate sweep to the side. So Hermes is one guy that doesn't lose when he has taken your hand, and Jerry is the opponent that doesn't care if you have taken his hand. So this is why this is a great matchup for sure. For sure, I think I can guarantee it is going to be more difficult than the Gennady super match, just because in that superior pronation position, and Hermes is very explosive. He's fast as well. Gennady was waiting for those hits. If Hermes is not going to wait for those hits. If he takes his hand, he's going to immediately jump on Jerry, and whether he can take Jerry to the side or not, it is a completely different thing. But we have seen in many matches, in the Gennady match, in the Monster Michael Todd match, that if Hermes takes that pronation and he gets that hit, even at this angle, he's immediately going to stand up and press. If he's able to get in that position where he can get behind his shoulder and press, then Jerry can be in big trouble. The match is going to be won or lost in that area for Jerry, like from center to this part. I don't think Jerry is going to be in the offensive from the beginning, because Hermes is really explosive. Can Hermes take Jerry to here where he can involve his own shoulder? So for me, it is really difficult. 3-2 either way. I'll think more about this match before giving a prediction.
Who would you say has the, let's say, who has the advantage, you think, endurance wise?
Jerry, for sure. Man, I don't know why people underestimate Jerry's endurance, but that guy, to me, going against Devon and Ermes, I've never seen literally anyone talk about this point. Anyone. Jerry had 2 1-minute matches. 2 1-minute matches against Devon and Ermes, the best endurance guy in the world. And in the 4th round, he came back. He had so much energy left that he just pressed Devon right to the pad. It was almost a flash pin in less than a second. I mean, who has that much energy left against Devon while going into 1-minute rounds to flash him in the 4th round? So his gas tank was better than Devon as well in that match. We have seen his gas tank was very equal to Monster Michael Todd in the 2018-19 period. So Jerry has one of the best, I would say, maybe definitely top 3 endurance in the world. Super heavyweight, he has more endurance than the lighter guys as well. It wouldn't be an overstatement if I say that. For sure, endurance department and a top roller against a presser, I think it is going to be. And one problematic thing for Hermes, and I don't really think anybody is strong enough to control Jerry like that. Like, as they say, Engin says, turning someone palm up. So you not just top roll with pronation, you do some cupping so that their hand is like that. Jerry can press when he's like that, but if someone has enough cupping, Jerry is like this, he cannot press like this. So this is the problem. But nobody is strong enough to just curl Jerry like that and then go for the top roll. So that may be another problem for Hermes, because Hermes Gasparini never goes for that cup. He goes for that pronation straight away and then starts hitting. This can be a big problematic thing for Hermes Gasparini against Jerry.
Now, who do you think should the winner of this match? Do you think they should be the next opponent for Levon?
Before that, we are going to get a clear indication on Dmitry Salayev versus Vitaly Lalitin on the 27th. So in that match, if Vitaly somehow comes back and beats Dmitry Salayev, then they are on their level. on each other's level, because Dmitry Salaev, the Siberian Bear, he defeated Vitaly a couple of months ago, I think 3 months ago maybe. And now if Vitaly comes back, because Vitaly has gained like 14 kilos since then. He was having COVID or fever maybe, because he was only 128 kilos when Dmitry Salaev defeated him. Now Vitaly is 142 kilos and they're going against each other in that same tournament in about 2 weeks from now. So if Dmitry Salaev still destroys Vitaly Leletin, still a peaked Vitaly Leletin, 142 kilos, bigger than he has ever been, if he still beats Vitaly, then that says a lot. Then we need to put that guy up against Levan as well. So maybe then Dmitry Salaev and the winner of Jerry and Ermes should have a match, because I'm telling you, that guy will have a strong contendership, because he just destroyed the guy twice who gave Levan a good 10-15 second fight in the first round, and nobody has done that. And Dmitry just flashed him twice. So I think he needs to be an even bigger contender for that match. That's just my opinion though.
Now that leads me to the next thing. We all know that we had the controversy going on with the world rankings between Devon and Engin, and one of the big major points that Devon had was that the inactivity and the Russians being knocked off of Engin's list. That they can't participate. So do we think that the Russians are going to be allowed to come to East vs West anytime soon?
Yes. Engin has said that in his live streams that he thinks he of course, even if he knows some information, he has to say it like it is a guess from him. So he said that it is his guess that maybe the Russians are soon going to be allowed to compete. This is what Engin said as a guess. Engin has no idea about that.
Now, how do you think that would go? Say that Dmitry gets the win and Jerry gets the win, and we put them two together. What do you think the outcome of that match would be?
Again, because the one thing, the advantageous thing, that Dmitry, although he's a top roller, but he can still throw his frame at Jerry, because he's a bigger guy than Jerry. He weighs more than him. Unlike Ermes or Gennady, who are completely going to be separated like that, he can afford to test his frame against Jerry. So that can be one thing, but again, a bad matchup. As Devon was saying in his videos, the top 10 guys are mostly top rollers, and top rollers against Jerry is not a good idea. That is why maybe there could be a 11th guy who could give Jerry a good match, but not these top rollers who are in the top 10. It needs to be if I were to design a good arm wrestler to beat Jerry, I would have a 130 kilo Bojidar Semyonov. That guy would beat Jerry because a deep inside hook power and weighs 130 kilos, 300 pounds. That is the kind of guy that you need, that has been hooking deep inside, testing his frame all his entire career, and he weighs like 300 pounds. That is the kind of guy you want against Jerry. Top roll is a bad idea, man. Just because it is not because of his press. Jerry is very smart. He tells you that he's not pushing you, but he clearly does push you. I was laughing my ass off, man, in that one round. Jerry was doing this.
Gennady went crazy over it,
Jerry was doing this. He was clearly pushing him, and like he was watching at the referee and doing this and saying elbow, and then he was saying I was not pushing. So that thing that Jerry, even if you stop his press and you are taking his arm away with your top roll, then he's going to come at you to make you elbow foul, and you cannot do that. Even if he has static pressure, even if he's not pushing you with these pulses, you still do not have enough down pressure to avoid from getting elbow foul. This is why it is really difficult for the top rollers to beat Jerry.
So I got to ask you now, there's also a lot of controversy for the North America rankings and all. With Jerry, he's being second on the world rankings and passed a lot of the North American guys. So, they had a little problem with it. So who do you think would be the top 3 in North America now? Because you got guys like Monster Michael Todd that's got a winning record over Jerry. You got Dave Chaffee that also has a winning record over him. You got Devon. But, after 3 years, people weren't sure that the level that Jerry would come back at. And now we see that, wow, this might be the Jerry 2.0 over here. Where do you put him in North America right now?
So, first of all, Paul, I think that for anyone in this world, even as experienced as Engin Terzi, I would say it is almost impossible in today's world to make rankings that make sense, just because there are not many super matches going on. In 2 years from now, because of enough matches at East versus West, world rankings would be possible, somewhat possible, and it will make more sense. And talking about North American rankings, being number one in North America, I just do not see how you can be differently ranked on different rankings. If Michael is accepting that in the world rankings Jerry is above him, then it makes no sense that you're ranked above him in USA ranking. So what does that mean? If you go overseas and compete, Jerry is going to win, and if you compete in USA, Michael is going to win. I don't think it works like that. So if he's above you in world rankings and you're accepting that to be the right decision, then I think Jerry should be above Michael in North American rankings as well. And the Dave Chaffee match, interesting, because I am having a very different opinion to what Devon Laird said. Devon said that Dave Chaffee, I don't think Jerry beats Dave right now, but I do think that Jerry beats Dave right now. I'm not sure if you have watched those Jerry versus Dave matches in WL or not, but that was, at that time, Dave was that 300-pound Bojidar that I was just talking about. He would just grab you low, turn you in a hook, and just drag you sideways. He was very easily beating Jerry. Always he used to beat Jerry.
Pradeep, I just want to say that's why I just went right to that question, because right when you said the Bojidar statement, I thought Dave Chaffee right away. So
yeah. So I would ask you one question. When was the last time you saw Dave hook like that?
oh man, I don't think it's been in like the last 3 years really. I mean, since I've been in arm wrestling.
Yeah, the last time Dave hooked was against Krasimir Kostadinov in WL 2019, early 2019, and that hook was like in 2-3 years gap. Even before that, we had not seen Dave hook. Like, so in 5 years, Dave has hooked once and won. In all of the matches, he's been put in a hook and getting beaten by Gennady, by Artem Morozov. So I don't think Dave Chaffee has that hook power anymore. If he had it, he would have been going there when he's losing, or when he would intentionally go there and crush his opponents, because that hook power, nobody can deal with it, that Dave Chaffee used to have maybe a decade ago, maybe 7-8 years ago. He's always going for the top roll, I'm not sure if Dave's top roll is going to work against Jerry. This is why I believe, and I'm having a very rare opinion on this one, I think Jerry might be the favorite for the first time in his career against Dave Chaffee.
Wow. And now,
not because Jerry has leveled up, because I would say because Dave has lost that hook power.
Okay. Now, if you had to pick one opponent for Jerry in North America right now, just to kind of solidify and figure out
Dave. I don't even need to think of. I messaged actually when Jerry won, like within an hour. I messaged Jerry and I like, congratulations, bro. I think maybe that doesn't mean much to you right now, but you can. I genuinely believe you can get that revenge on Dave Chaffee because you have never defeated him. So I would personally love to see that match, and if he wants to settle his rivalry against Monster Michael Todd, because they're almost equal, not in just matches but in pins as well. Like, they've got almost equal. I think Michael has got one more pin, or maybe Jerry has one more pin on like, even the pins are really close. So if he wants that revenge, that upper edge, so that the other guy just can never speak about it, then he can have a match with Michael as well, a match with Devon as well. Even that I would like to see. That can also be interesting.
What do you think would be the most popular out of all those three matches?
Rematches popular for sure, Devon. If Devon is involved, it is going to be really popular. Then Michael and Dave, in terms of popularity views, maybe Michael would be slightly more popular because they're going to talk a lot of trash back and forth. Dave Chaffee is not going to do that. So the second is going to be Michael, and third is going to be Dave Chaffee.
Yeah, I think that monster one, I personally would love to see that run back, and I know they said Michael has did better on the 7x7 pads with Jerry, but I just want to see it on the regular 7x7 pads. That would make So that is definitely one I just feel like it has to eventually happen. We got to settle that. We can't just leave it with that strap break in and not getting the answer out of that. So I definitely would love to see that happen again. So moving on, I wanted to also ask you. We talked about your favorite arm wrestlers. Now I want to hear what not so to say not like the arm wrestler himself, but what style arm wrestlers don't you like? Give me an idea of three guys that you're just not really into their style.
Style, I would say, you're talking about like even as a personality or just arm wrestling style, hook, top roll, press, king's move.
I'm gonna leave that up to you. You could
No,
either
what was
way.
your initial? I need to
My,
know that. What was
my
your question?
initial my initial was as far as an arm wrestler as style wise, like what they're gonna top roll, they're gonna king's move, the flop press, is there any three that just you don't like? And then also I
No.
like that the whole part where you threw in as a character and also that you don't like their style as a person. So like blend it for us.
So I would say, like, it may sound a politically correct answer, but I never use politically correct answers, to be just to be clear. I don't hate any style, and unlike many other people, unlike 90% of the arm wrestling community, I'm a big fan of the King's move. I always love to see that like you may be the stronger guy than me slightly, but I'm going to be in that position and you're going to do nothing about that. So I'm a big, huge fan of a King's move. I was supporting Michael when he defeated Devon in 2018. Yes, that there was some controversial things in fouls and whatnot. And I was supporting Devon when he beat Dave Chaffee with that King's move. That was also looking ugly. But I'm always, in general, I'm a big fan of King's move. And as I already told you, that Jerry's style scares me. And if you're scary on the table, I have to be a fan of of your style. So flop press, I'm a big fan. King's move, I'm a big fan. Hook arm wrestling as well. Hook and top roll are like in between. Like, if you're a tournament arm wrestler, like I like to see top rollers go through everyone quickly in a super match. Maybe a hook pull. So I'm a big fan of all the styles. I do not like, and I do not dislike any style. Big fan of a
Okay.
King's move as well. And style and personality. I do not like personalities who pretend to have a thick skin online. They're always saying, I want all the hate, I have a really thick skin. But in general, when things come crashing down on them and deserve hate, then they kind of really show that they do not have that thick skin. Then they're like, I was just playing a character. So I do not like that personality. If you're claiming online that you have a thick skin, you can absorb all the hate in the world, and as soon as you're getting a little bit of hate, then you're not living up to the standards that you have set for yourself.
Okay. Now I wanted to move on. We know we got King of Table coming up in October 1st, and we got three good matches set so far. And one of the matches being Lachlan Adair versus Irakli. And we know that Irakli just came off a great win against Krause, and we know that Lachlan suffered a loss which he hasn't experienced in quite some time against Sandra Sadis. So after seeing that match and those two matches, um, what's your prediction on this match between Lachlan and Irakli?
I don't think, even if Lachlan thinks that he's going to win this match, I don't think anyone thinks. Even Ryan Bone, I've never seen Ryan say any that Lachlan is the underdog in a match. He always projects him really high. Even Ryan Bowen, when you got Ryan saying that his buddy is in trouble, it means he's really in trouble. So, and I just cannot see any lane where Lachlan can beat Irakli, because even if Irakli decides to go in a hook, not in a complete hook, but maybe a slight hook loaded with a lot of pronation, he can prevent that slip from happening and just pin Lachlan like Sandres did in that final round. Sandres was a little bit deep in that hook. Irakli could still be in a hook and still be away with it with a lot of pronation. And I think Irakli can end it that way as well, if he thinks that Lachlan is going to slip and in the straps it is going to be trouble for him. So I see a clear 3-0 win for Irakli in that match.
Now, the other match we got going on is we got Khaled called out Schoolboy. And we know that they sparred a little. I think it was on after pull and after Schoolboy pulled Larry Wheels, and Khaled had looked like that he was pretty much dominating Schoolboy. We also know that Schoolboy is a young guy and he's growing up fast, and I'm sure he's living in that gym. So what do you expect that day? And the other tidbit that all the subscribers got to know is that Khaled is not really training at all for arm wrestling because he's
Yeah.
training for an MMA fight coming up. So
Yep. So MMA fight, I think it is on 16th. I'm not quite sure about that. And the King of the Table, it was supposed to be in the last Saturday of September, but I think it was because of Khaled's fight that they had to push it 1 week back to October 1st. And I'm a big believer in Khaled. I'm a big believer in Khaled because when the Larry Wheels match at King of the Table 3, I think it was, when it was about to happen, literally everybody had Larry picked. Everyone had Larry picked. I made a community post that tomorrow Khaled will beat Larry Wheels. Mark my words. And I even mentioned a score 5-1, and it turned out to be exact. And people were saying, you're crazy. Today is not 1st of April. Why are you joking? And I was like, he is going to beat Larry Wheels. I can clearly see it. And you have to, when the guy is full of confidence, like sometimes people like to say that overconfidence can be a bad thing, but I'm not really a believer in that. If you're really overconfident, then maybe you should train for it. You should train for it just to back up your words, and it makes you a better person. When you're overconfident and you make claims that you shouldn't be making, then you train harder to achieve those. But Khalid is not one of those guys. He will be overconfident. He will not train for it to back up his words, and he's still going to beat you. He's that kind of freak. And he did say before the Larry Wheels match that he doesn't need to. I talked privately with him about the match. I asked, I messaged him, and what is your training? And he was like, bro, are you serious? I do not need to train to beat Larry Wheels. What are you talking about? And I was like, man. And Khaled has said the same thing about Schoolboy. So what does that tell you? Khaled is saying he does not need to train to beat Schoolboy.
that is
Where does this take you?
he's either a very, very confident man or he's a stupid man. One of the two. So
He was a confident man last time. Let's see how it goes. For sure, it is going to be a difficult match. Schoolboy is a top roller, but we have seen lately that his hook is getting better. We saw him go up against Herman Stevens. He went for the top roll. Herman pinned him outside of straps. Then he hooked Herman Stevens and beat him. So hook is an option for Schoolboy in this match and in all other matches as well. He's a great top roller, but there is absolutely no way. I see 0% chance that he can top roll Khaled. Not going to work. So a top roller is going to be forced to hook in this match. Can he hook Khaled and beat him? Because Khaled got that thing, King's move going as well. He's not as polished as it can be if he trains, but he got that thing going on, and he's going to utilize all the fouls that he got. He's going to, what we thought that Devon is going to do against Levan, use all the fouls, all the King's move, all the ugliness. He did none of that. Khaled is going to do all of that against Schoolboy if the match is close. So can Schoolboy do it again and again? Like Larry also did it in the first round, but then Khaled's King's move started to work. So I want to see more matches from Schoolboy, how efficiently he can hook, because there is absolutely no way he's going over the top of Khaled's hand. So I think it is going to be a close match. Unlike the last time, it will be a close match. Maybe a 4-2 either side. And for sure the first two wins are going to come from Schoolboy in a hook. If Schoolboy wins the rounds, it is going to be the first rounds or all of the rounds if he sweeps. Khaled is going to have to make a comeback.
this is kind of what I'm hoping. And the only reason why I'm hoping this is, let me first tell you, I'm hoping that Schoolboy gets the win, and I hope that he really dominates him, because my hope is that it will light a fire under Khaled's ass and get that man into arm wrestling. Because with a guy with those gifts, these naturally genetic gifts this man was blessed with, I mean, he could be just some next level arm wrestler that we might not have ever seen anything like this before. So I'm hoping, because I mean, if he just comes in and he beats Schoolboy on train, he's not going to train anymore. He's just going to keep doing what he's doing. But if he loses and he feels that, and I think that might be what he needs to get that fire under his ass. What do you think, bro? Do you think that might sway him our way?
Not right now. Like he even when you're sitting, and this is the only thing people are saying, that his attitude is bad. I absolutely love Khaled's attitude. Again, going back to the initial thing that I said, if you're within the rules, you're not breaking any rules. I like it when you push the boundaries. So Khaled was like he was kind of a bully on the table, beating everyone up. So how is that bad behavior? That is like needed for strength sports. So I absolutely love Khaled's attitude. The only thing that I found slightly disrespectful towards arm wrestling is what he said in the press conference of King of the Table. You're sitting in the press conference of arm wrestling and you're saying that you're not interested in arm wrestling, you want to pursue MMA. Man, who says that? Who says
Yeah.
that? But that also shows that he speaks whatever is on his mind without like sugarcoating things. But that was even I felt that kind of disrespectful, being a big fan of Khaled Jashel. So I don't think nothing that can happen in this match. Maybe he loses in a long match. Maybe that can force him to think more about arm wrestling. But I think he's focused on MMA and he sees that there is a big career. He's a great grappler already. Like he's already at a very high level in ground and pound. He needs to work on those boxing skills, and I think we are few years away from getting Khaled into arm wrestling, and he can get into arm wrestling. This is the thing that he knows as well, and he has said it publicly that he can be arm wrestling when he's 35 as well. He's like I think 25, 26, very young right now. So I don't think nothing happening in this match is going to sway him towards our sport.
Well, I hope you're wrong on that part. So I really want to get him part of this sport. But my next question is, we got the big match going on between Vitaly and Dave Chaffee. What's your thoughts, man? After Dave suffering this pretty pretty upsetting loss, considering that he came in, dominating at the beginning and kind of just gassed out. Do you think he has enough time to get that endurance up for Vitaly?
Maybe, but I really doubt it. Like it is not something that has been shown to the world. It is not a new thing. So that weakness, endurance, got exposed in the Gennady match. So Dave had 3 months to work on it, and it did not look like he improved one bit on it. So both of them matches were quite similar. So my thing is, I want to know if Dave tried anything different or not. And if he didn't try anything different in those 3 months, I'm not a big believer that he's going to do any different in these upcoming 3 months. Not 3 months, maybe one and a half month. So this is what I'm thinking. I don't think Dave can work on his endurance. But Paul, if you see, there is a pattern. Those guys were going top roll versus top roll in the first round, in the first 2 rounds, top roll versus top roll against Dave and getting pinned. Then they switched to hook, and they gassed out Dave Chaffee in that hook. So I'm not sure if they kept going, like Engin was also saying, if they kept going for top roll, they would have lost to Dave Chaffee. Vitaly is a top roller. He's not going to change his styles, or maybe he will. Alex Cordecha, he was a pure top roller. He did not switch to that hook option. He was not able to gas out Dave Chaffee. So this is a thing we have seen. If you go only for top roll, Dave is not going to gas out. Like the Gennady match back in 2018 as well. Gennady was going for top roll, and Dave was not really getting gassed out. So I think Vitaly's hook, even his hook, is going to be really strong at 142 kilos. So maybe we can see Slide going inside against Dave Chaffee in the final rounds when Dave's hand is slightly taxed. So I'm still going to go with a clean sweep for Vitaly Lerton, because he's going to come in prepared, he's going to come in big, and he's fast as well. There are explosive guys and there are fast guys. So Ermes Gasparini, I always say Ermes is an explosive guy. He's not like quick fast, not like Ersan Liliev or Taras Evakin fast off the go. He's explosive. He gains position and then hits you with a ton of explosivity. Vitaly is a fast guy. He's not hitting for position. He's hitting straight for the pin pad. So he is really quick. So that speed can also surprise. But it is King of the Table. Bill Collins is the referee. There will be a lot of loading going on 2 seconds before the go. So maybe that is going to negate the speed that Vitaly has. But let's see how it goes. I think Vitaly can even get inside a hook as well, because we have seen Vitaly was just kind of holding Krasi in a hook and pinning him like with ease. Maybe Vitaly is working on that hook option as well. And I'm going with Vitaly.
Just got a quick question from what you were just saying. So with King of Table, they allowed a loading and all. That leads me back to the old match between Toddzilla and Irakli. Now, we know that Toddzilla won in East versus West. I think it was 3. But if you had that match again in King of Table, would that change the outcome, do you think?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
You don't think with Irakli being able to just put a full load on and everything, that wouldn't present a problem for Toddzilla?
The problem is why I don't think that it is going to change anything, because Todd is not a fast guy anymore. Like not anymore. Like he was never a fast guy. So Todd is slow, and I think if you're loading before the go, it is going to help the slower guy more, because the fast guy wants kind of a dead start so that he can hit with his speed. If both of them are loading, I think it actually loses that match even worse on King of the Table.
Okay. So moving on, I want to just we're gonna finish off quick with this one is the Monster Factory. We got a couple big matches that I want to make mention, and one of them being the Corey West versus Cody Merritt left hand, and we know that we just seen Cody lose pretty bad to Artem Morozov, which I was surprised that it went the way it did, but what do you expect now after seeing that? Do you think Corey has a shot? Because before that, I was like, oh, no way. I don't think Corey's going to be in this match. I think Cody's just the next level above him. But now I'm not so sure about that. What about you?
So for me, that match tells very little, and why very little, I'll tell you. Because Artem Morozov top rolled Cody Merritt. Corey West does not have a top roll. He goes for that dragging side pressure hook. So this is going to be a deciding factor, and Cody has always lost to Cody Merritt quite convincingly, I would say. So I'm still going to go with the Cody Merritt just because of styles. If Artem Morozov hooked Cody Merritt and beat him, then I would be convinced that maybe Corey West is also going to do that, because Artem was not going anywhere. Maybe, who knows, Cody Merritt is just like Chan Shaw. He's almost unhookable. It is really difficult to hook him. That is why Corey has been losing to him. And his side pressure style, like he's willing to go up to give his wrist to keep his pronation. It is really hard to hook those guys. Really hard to hook those guys. So I'm going to go with Cody Merritt in this match.
Okay. Now, the other big one is, I can't wait for this one, is John Brzenk going against Monster Michael Todd. What's your thoughts on that, bro?
For me, like, again, unpopular opinion, I think Michael is a clear favorite in this match. Because, yes, John did press Michael's King's move in 2014, but it was like when Jerry and Michael teamed up, Jerry and John teamed up against Monster Michael Todd, and they had a 2-minute match before that. So I genuinely believe that a King's move is John's weakness, and people call me crazy when I say that. Even during practice polls, you can see John redlining and Michael is sitting there. He goes very clear to the pad and he's not able to finish. And when a guy is slightly stronger or even at your level and you're trying to beat his King's move, you're going to gas out really, really quickly. We saw that against Devon in the first round when John tried to beat his King's move. I'm not saying Michael is going to be on that level, but still it is going to be really difficult. I truly believe that John will have the hand control maybe for the entire match, and maybe John will get a win or two. I don't think he's going to get 2 wins, maybe one win, and Michael is going to tire him out and beat him. I think I'm quite sure about that.
Now, what do you think between Monster Michael Todd and Prudnik at that 115 kilogram weight cap?
I think Prudnik has to be the favorite, man. He has to be the favorite. That is different level of strength that you cannot ignore. People say that it really doesn't work like that, but we need to see common opponents. Devon was not small when he faced Toddzilla. He was already over 260 pounds, so already bigger than Todd Hutchings. And we have seen that Todd has leveled up in these last 3 years. Todd himself is saying that all of his lifts have gone up and he has trained his hand more, and he is feeling stronger. And how did that Devon versus Toddzilla match go? Devon was redlining in a King's move, and how did the Prudnik versus Toddzilla match go? Even inside the straps, when Prudnik allowed Todd to go in the straps, he just, like, for a second he held him in center, bent his wrist back, and single surge. He did not require 2 surges. It was like 1 surge, and it looked like Todd had zero resistance. When you can take Todd's arm that fast to the pinning pad, like, it looks like Todd had to jump to protect himself from getting hurt. That is how much force Prudnik was generated. I mean, who beats Todd Hutchings like that? Nobody beats Todd Hutchings like that. So you have to look at the strength differences, and I'm sure if you try to find more common opponents, you're going to find the same difference. Prudnik is on another level, man. Another example, Matt Mask. Devon has always been saying, I know I'm comparing Devon and Prudnik, but the match is between Michael. But I'm just telling you about the strength gaps in common opponents. Matt versus Devon, always close, always close. Devon had to run for that King's move, and Prudnik was trying different things. He was like he was arm wrestling with a 12-year-old guy. He was just grabbing him low, trying to top roll him, trying to hook him. It was not even a practice session for Prudnik. And again, who beats Matt Mask like that? Really, really impressive. Like, at least nobody in North America. Maybe Dave Chaffee can do that. But when Todd Hutchings went against Matt Mask, Matt took him to the pad, and Todd had to red line to bring him back to beat him. And Prudnik was just playing. He's doing to those guys, like, we have to look at the way by which he's beating the opponents. He's just not beating them. He's dominating all of them. And I think it can be a bad match. I'm having Prudnik again. That King's move factor, it can play a big role. I have not seen Prudnik except for that one match when Prudnik was like 21, 22 years old against a King's mover, and that was like a 10-12 match, 10-12 minute match. You should watch it against Pascal Girard. I'm not sure how Prudnik does against the King's move, but in the first couple of rounds, I don't think he's going to need the press. Prudnik can be just flat out strong to just side pressure through Michael Todd's King's move, and I have Prudnik as the favorite in that match.
Now, here's another one to throw in there. What would you think between Jerry and Prudnik?
I think Jerry can be too much for Prudnik. I think, but Prudnik is really efficient. He's not that 130 kg Bojidar, but he's that 115 kg Bojidar. So you're already getting close to that range. And Prudnik is really efficient. The way I always go back to that one match, how he hooked Artem Morozov, hooking a great top roller without the straps. That is really efficient. Morozov was going for his top roll, and he just did this and brought Morozov back. I'm still surprised whenever I see that match. So Prudnik's hooking ability, his ability to go in a hook is amazing. But I would still have Jerry as the favorite in that match.
Did you hear Todzilla's description of Prudnik after?
Yeah, hand of John Brzezinski and arm of Dave Chaffee, and I think he was talking about the hand of John Brzezinski, hand of maybe prime John Brzezinski, not this 58-year-old John Brzezinski, and the arm of Dave Chaffee that was beating Siplenkov in a hook. I think he was talking about those guys.
Which is just insane to think about that. You know what I mean? And hearing Engen say that this possibly could be the Levon of the 110 kilogram class. So, I mean, this guy's got to be on a whole nother atmosphere, bro. They're saying this kind of stuff about him.
Yeah, his ability to prevent the top roll, that is not like otherworld level. It is human level. We have seen Vitaly easily top roll him. When he went to top roll against Ongarbayev like had good 10-second battle in the center, and then just like he defeated John Brzezinski, same way he beat Prudnik as well. So his ability to contain a top roll, that is human level, but everything else in his game is like inhuman level.
I definitely agree with that. Well, Pradeep, I want to thank you tonight for coming on, brother. It was a real pleasure just hearing all the info about you and all the little details I was always wondering. And is there anything you'd like to shout out? Any social media platforms? We all know that he's got Arm Wrestling News. Guys, get over there. You guys want to stay up to date by the minute. This is the one, Arm Wrestling News. Click that subscribe button. Help him out. Is there any other platforms you'd like to put out there?
I'm not really active on Instagram and Facebook. YouTube is the only focus now. I have a Hindi channel as well, Arm Wrestling News Hindi. I'm not sure if more than 5% people watching this actually knows Hindi. But Paul, thank you very much for inviting me. Always a pleasure to be talking with you. I actually wanted to be on your channel. There are few channels that I want to be on, and yours is definitely one of them. Was definitely one of them.
Well, that means a lot, brother, and you're always invited. And thank you again for coming on. And also, I want to get in that little inner circle with you guys with the YouTube world, though. So remind me, throw me up to the committee, see if I can get an entrance, please.
Yeah.